F1 H2O World Championship returned to Sharjah for the Road to Sharjah Grand Prix of Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates for a season-ending finale where the 2024 World Champion would be crowned. The Grand Prix of Sharjah promises to deliver one of the most dramatic finales in F1 H2O history, with the championship wide open. Just 3 points separating the top two contenders and several others still mathematically in the hunt, the stage is set for an epic showdown on Khalid Lagoon. Sharjah has a character all its own, one that is firmly rooted in its culture, history, and Arab-Islamic roots. The natural beauty surrounding Sharjah is a gateway to adventure and exploration. Just beyond the bustling city lies the vast, untouched expanse of the Sharjah Desert, a landscape of rolling golden dunes that beckons thrill-seekers and nature lovers alike. Beyond the desert, the majestic Al Hajar Mountains rise in the distance, offering hiking trails and panoramic vistas that captivate adventurers. Sharjah has hosted the Road to Sharjah UIM F1 H2O Grand Prix for 3 decades, becoming a cornerstone event in the sport's history. This year, the event carries even more significance as Sharjah team's very own Rusty Wyatt, in his rookie season, is vying for the championship title. His incredible journey has electrified local fans, adding an extra layer to this already iconic race. The event also welcomed guests and authorities from all over the world. For those curious about the thrill of a high-performance racing machine, brave fans can experience the extreme G-forces and adrenaline firsthand in the F1 H2O 2-seater boat. Now let's take a closer look at the top contenders battling for the Drivers' Championship. Khalid Lagoon is a place where legends are forged and champions are crowned. And this year, the stakes couldn't be higher. The team's championship and the Ultimate Drivers' World Championship are all still on the line. Team Vietnam's Jonas Andersen came into this season as the reigning champion, but in 2024, he faced a battlefield unlike any other. After a mid-season stumble, he roared back in Zhengzhou, taking a start-to-finish victory that proved why he's still the man to beat. Now, with just 3 points separating him from his closest rival, the pressure is immense.
Last race, I was very lucky to have a perfect setup and win the race, and Rusty was not lucky and broke his engine. I mean, it's difficult to keep one complete season together, and everybody is so fast, so now we have been doing everything we can with the boats, the engines, the propellers.
Andersen's Team Vietnam teammate Stefan Arendt was sidelined by a pre-race crash in Zhengzhou, leaving Finn Kalevipo to step in. Sharjah team's Rusty Wyatt burst onto the scene with a stunning victory in Indonesia, shocking the veterans of the sport and shaking up the championship with a performance nobody saw coming.
Beat, first rookie ever to win the race.
No way.
And Canadian.
No way. Yeah! Thank you.
Seemingly running away with the championship, a frustrating breakdown in the last race in Zhengzhou derailed his momentum. Now just 3 points off the lead, Wyatt faces the ultimate test on home waters in Sharjah.
For sure, we had such a great points lead, and it was looking a little too good to be true, and certainly it happened to shut us down in a hurry. So we're here, we're only 3 points back, and we've done a lot of testing, like I say, to try and get a great qualification, and then try and run away with it in the race.
Peter Marin, the hard-charging Frenchman from the China CTIC team, has fought his way to 3rd overall in the standings. With 3 podium finishes this season, including a runner-up spot in Zhengzhou, his fearless driving and relentless determination make him a formidable contender in the title race. Eric Stark, the Victory Team's star driver, has shown flashes of brilliance this season, including a win in Vietnam and a second-place finish on Lake Toba. However, retirements in Sardinia and Zhengzhou have made him a long shot in the championship fight. In a dramatic twist, this race will be Stark's final outing for Victory Team before making a high-profile move to rivals Team Abu Dhabi next season.
The chances for me to win here this weekend is quite low, but it's the chances, and it's Formula One. Everything can happen. It's my last race with Victory, so I want to win. I want to give back to the guys because it's a wonderful team and wonderful guys.
Stromoy Racing sits third in the team's championship standings. Bartek Marszalek, currently fifth in the Drivers' Championship, has delivered standout performances. Marit Stromoy, ranked 7th, has steadily improved throughout the season as her team adapts to the unique challenges of the field's only 4-stroke engine. Both drivers are determined to end the season on a high in Sharjah. Pole position could well determine the outcome of the championship. The qualifier unfolds in 3 stages. In Q1, boats have 20 minutes to set their fastest laps, with the top 12 advancing to Q2. Here they get 15 minutes to select the 6 fastest for Q3, a final 10-minute showdown. In Q1, 2-time world champion Sami Celio had a frustrating run as he worked to fine-tune his new boat, just scraping through in 12th, bumping out Sharjah team's Philip Roms. F1 Atlantic team's Duarte Benavente finished 14th, while Maverick Racing's Alexander Bourgeot and Cedric De Guin failed to advance. Kalle Vipo faced technical issues and was unable to post a time. Q2, Eric Stark set the fastest lap with a 47.095 second run, while Marit Stromoy was sidelined by electrical issues. Rusty Wyatt initially struggled but surged into second with a 47.779 second lap before disaster struck. With just 90 seconds remaining, Wyatt, in a frantic bid to overhaul Anderson, collided with Bartek Marszalek, who barrel rolled and crashed out of the session.
I got hit from my back from the other driver and I crashed. I don't like it because it's a session, it's plenty of water for all of us. It is like it is, it's racing, it's pressure.
Despite the crash, Marszalek advanced to Q3 but was unable to compete due to a damaged boat. Before the start of Q3, Rusty Wyatt was delivered a crushing blow.
Beautiful, lovely.
He was penalized for dangerous driving, his best lap cancelled, and was barred from Q3, a major setback to his championship hopes.
I guess he's coming around the outside of Bartek and he skipped out maybe or something and hit me. He was kind of holding up the whole lane, so I tried to go around him and he hit me, and I guess they disqualified us to go out of Q3. So we'll be starting 7th.
Also failing to make the Q3 cut were Sami Celio, Brent Dillard, and Rashid Al-Khamzi. Q3, F1 Atlantic's Ben Jelf impressed by making it into the final round, though his run ended early after he ran out of fuel.
We weren't actually expecting to get into Q3 in the end. We ended up just running on fumes.
Team Vietnam's Jonas Anderson stormed out of the blocks with a 46.415 second opener. But Victory Team's Eric Stark quickly responded, taking the lead with a 46.267 second lap. Team Abu Dhabi's Al-Khamzi moved ahead of Marin to claim 3rd in the early shuffle. Then Anderson delivered the first sub-46 second lap of the weekend, a blistering 45.75 second lap. His time stood unchallenged as the checkered flag fell, securing Anderson pole position ahead of Stark, Al-Khamzi, Morin, and an impressive Jelf in 5th.
It must be the years. It must be the skills of the years.
Yeah, anything can happen here in Sharjah, and Eric is super fast and you can break down, and we have the pool, so I'm happy.
Between the racing action, drivers, teams, and F1 H2O community members visited the Sharjah Desert to plant trees at Al Mantef Plantation, offsetting the sport's carbon footprint and reinforcing its commitment to a sustainable net zero future. Saturday afternoon featured 2 50-minute sprint races, providing a crucial battleground for the championship title with half the Grand Prix points at stake. The Sprint Race 1 starting lineup had Jonas Andersson on pole with Peter Marin P2, Van Gelf P3, and Brent Dillard P4. Marit Stromoy, plagued by electrical issues, was unable to join the parade lap and eventually did not start, losing valuable points. 8 boats lined up for Sprint Race 1. Jonas Andersson bolts off the start, taking the lead. Van Gelf struggles with a poor start and soon finds himself hemmed in by Marin and Celio. Andersson is first to the hole shot, Marin P2, and Celio moves up into third place. Gelf, now in P7, shifts to the inside lane behind Brent Dillard, fighting to recover his initial P3 position. Up front, Jonas Andersson and Peter Marin extend their lead over the rest of the field. Celio holds steady in third, and Van Gelf powers ahead. The F1 Atlantic driver overtakes Philip Rams to climb into fourth. An impressive recovery from a tough start. Philip Rams chases in P5, Brent Dillard 6th, followed by Cedric De Guin 7th and Kyle Levipo in 8th. Van Gelf keeps the pressure on Sami Celio, staying within striking distance but unable to find a way past the Finn. The positions hold steady. Jonas Andersson takes the win, adding another 10 points to his championship lead, with Peter Marin finishing second. However, it's bad news for Sami Celio as race officials penalize him for infringing on Van Gelf's race line at the start, handing Gelf the third place finish.
Third place in Sprint Race 1, so I mean it was very hard fought. I mean we had a really bad start. Unfortunately there were some people not maintaining lanes, which made it very difficult for us. But we were fighting the whole race, try and keep the positions as much as we could, and so we now finished with P3.
No, I had a fantastic start, and after that I tried to push in the beginning of, and I got already a gap to Peter directly, and we have been working really hard, so it's nice that it pays off.
China CTIC gains 14 valuable points in the team championship standings. Drivers gear up and get ready for Sprint Race 2. The starting grid has Eric Stark on pole, followed by Daniel Kamzi in second and Bartek Marszalek third. Rusty Wyatt starts back in P6 after receiving an additional post-qualifying penalty, which had dropped him to 10th overall in the qualifying standings. The boats roar off the pontoon and Eric Stark takes the lead. Al Fahim is locked in a fierce battle with Rashid Al Kamzi, but the victory driver has the speed. Eric Stark claims the whole shot buoy, with Al Kamzi in close pursuit. Rusty Wyatt, fighting back from 6th, stays wide on the outside and powers down to the second turn. He passes Team Abu Dhabi's Rashid Al Kamzi into P5 and sets his sights on Ahmed Al Fahim. The two boats are neck and neck, but Ahmed Al Fahim holds the inside lane advantage. Rusty Wyatt isn't backing down. He throws down the hammer, staying relentless on the outside. As they approach the right-hander, Wyatt seizes the inside line. He does it! Sharjah Team's Wyatt wrests P4 from Al Fahim in a thrilling lap 1 move. Stark has a solid lead over Al Kamzi in second. Marszalek is third, then Wyatt P4, Al Fahim P5, Rashid Al Kamzi P6, Bourgeot up a position in P7, and Benavente in 8th. Victory's Ahmed Al Fahim maintains relentless pressure on Rusty Wyatt in the fight for 4th, while Wyatt's boat begins to vibrate and shudder violently. Al Fahim powers past, taking 4th as Wyatt's struggles worsen. The Canadian is forced to pull over, ending his race and dealing a crushing blow to Sharjah Team. A tough break for Rusty as he forfeits more points and faces a 10th place start on the grid for the championship decider. The positions hold steady as the laps wind down and Eric Stark crosses the line in first after a flawless race. Together with his teammate Al Fahim in 4th, Victory Team racks up an impressive 17 points. Tani Al Kamzi takes 2nd, Bartek Marszalek claims 3rd, Rashid Al Kamzi 5th, and Alexander Bourgeot 6th.
You know, to be honest, I pushed really hard the whole race, but yeah, it was really nice with a win.
Yeah, from the start I was close to Eric, and then to second board, almost me behind him, but he had the line and he go away.
The good result is the result of my crew because they did amazing job. I just sit in the boat and drive it.
As the sprint race podium ceremony unfolded, Ben Jelf was absent from the celebrations as the post-race penalty was handed down to Celio after the podiums. Now, all eyes turn to the main event, where champions will be crowned. Race day. Crowds packed Khalid Lagoon, eager to witness the race that would decide it all. Team Vietnam's Jonas Andersen stands on the brink of his third championship, poised to join an elite group, but he still needs to cross the finish line. Rusty Wyatt, second in the standings, faces an uphill battle starting from 10th on the grid.
It's going to be interesting for sure. I haven't started from the back in a while, so kind of looking forward to it.
Sharjah fans turned out in full force, including Sultan bin Ahmed Al Qasimi, deputy ruler of Sharjah, to watch the spectacle. The starting grid, Jonas Andersen on pole, Stark P2, Marin P3, after Thani Al-Kamzi engine swaps, dropping him down to 15th. Ben Jelf with his best ever start position in P4. The boats line up, just seconds to go now. There it is, the lights go out and the race is on. Peter Marin has a terrible start, slow off the line. Ben Jelf to his starboard side pulls ahead. Marin gets squeezed in, engulfed in spray. Andersen leads to the whole shot, Stark in second. Bartek Marszalek on the attack, passes Ben Jelf into P3 as the field rounds the whole shot buoy. Rusty Wyatt already moving up the field on the outside. Marin in P7, trying to recover on the inside, has to swerve around Ben Jelf's way. Visibility near impossible in the blinding sun and spray. Ben Jelf trying to push through. He slams into the buoy. Meanwhile, Victory's Ahmed Al-Fahim escapes the carnage on the inside and cruises past Marszalek up into third place. The Polish ace in P4 next gets overhauled by China CTIC's Brent Dillard on the outside. Behind, Marin finds Rusty Wyatt on his starboard. The Canadian has surged up to P6 and attacks Bartek Marszalek, charging into the left-hander. Marszalek goes long, but Rusty Wyatt has the speed on the outside and passes into P5. Rusty Wyatt and Peter Marin now locked in a battle for fifth. Marin tries to move up on the inside after the right-hander, but Rusty shuts the door. The Canadian takes P5, then moves past Brent Dillard, who's slowed on the outside. Lap 1 and Rusty already up to P4. At the front, Jonas Andersen leads a Victory team 2-3 with Stark and Al-Fahim. Wyatt in P4, then China CTIC's Dillard and Marin in 5th and 6th. But there's a yellow flag. Two buoys are down and need to be replaced. On the start lap, Ben Jelf took out buoy number 2 while battling Peter Marin in the punishing conditions. Buoy number 1 was taken out by Brent Dillard, trying to take Ahmed Al-Fahim for P3, but Al-Fahim came out on top. The boats line up for the restart. Tension at its peak as radio men watch the race director to signal the start flag. There it is, the race is back on. Rusty Wyatt goes ballistic on the outside, attacking both Victory boats, and he does it! Rusty powers past Stark on the outside. Now it's a battle with Al-Fahim, the two boats charging into turn 1. Rusty Wyatt takes the lead, but Al-Fahim catches an edge. He barrel rolls. The Victory boat lands right side up. Ahmed Al-Fahim is okay. The race is yellow flagged yet again. Incredible racing from the Emirati driver, but unfortunately his race comes to an end. Here it is again, both locked in a fierce duel. Rusty Wyatt edges ahead just before the turn, and over goes Al-Fahim.
I saw the opportunity, I went for it. I was second, and then Rusty came very hard in my lane to the turn, and I have no room, was all splash, and I turned. I was in the air at that moment. So
The boats line up for the restart, in the same order as the previous restart, as a full lap wasn't completed. A tough pill to swallow for Rusty Wyatt, who drops back to P3 behind Stark. Green flag is up. Sharjah team's Rusty Wyatt guns it, but Stark holds P2 on the outside. Behind, Marin in P5 struggles to pass his teammate Dillard, while Bartek Marszalek charges around the outside, snatching P6 from Marin. Marin's troubles aren't over. Daniel Kamzi makes his move on the yellow and drops Marin to 7th. Next, it's Celio, who passes the flailing Frenchman, who drops to 8th. Up ahead, the battle for second rages between Stark and Wyatt. Eric Stark expertly ducks on the inside lane. The boats are neck and neck, tooth and nail, both digging deep for an edge. Wyatt pushes hard on the outside. Stark dives into the left-hander, sticks it, and pulls ahead. Eric Stark holds on to P2, but Rusty Wyatt isn't done. The Canadian comes around turn 4 and switches to the outside lane on his way to the right-hander and pours on the power. Wyatt gains the upper hand, he pulls ahead. But Stark is there. He closes the gap and cuts off Rusty's line. Here it is again. Rusty Wyatt backs off for an instant. And Bartek Marszalek takes advantage, slipping through into P3. Rusty Wyatt, now on the back foot, has to regroup as he sets his sights on Marszalek for third. With blistering pace on the outside, Wyatt reels in Marszalek around the start-finish line. He holds the inside lane into the right-hander this time and powers past the Stromoy Racing driver. By turn 1, Wyatt locks in P3 once again. What a phenomenal display of skill and determination. Jonas Anderson settles into a comfortable lead. Stark P2 under pressure from the aggressive Wyatt. Marszalek P4, Dillard P5, and Alkamzi in 6th. Marin struggling back in 7th with Celio in 8th. Team Vietnam's Jonas Anderson has survived 2 restarts in the lead, staying focused, knowing he must preserve his boat to secure a 3rd championship. Peter Marin sits in 7th, far from his expectations after a poor start, pursuing Emirati Daniel Kamzi ahead. F1 Atlantic's Ben Jelf retires on lap 18 after a hard-fought effort. With less than 10 laps to go, Bartek Marszalek feels the heat from Brent Dillard in a critical battle for the team standings podium. China CTIC's Dillard has the pace on the outside. The American powers past Marszalek to take 4th. The intense pressure takes its toll on Stromoy Racing's Marszalek. He slowly drops down the field before retiring on lap 25 with mechanical issues. Bad luck for the Polish ace. The positions hold steady as the laps wind down, and there it is. Jonas Anderson crosses the finish line, clinching his 3rd World Championship and delivering Team Vietnam their 1st ever title. An unforgettable, historic moment. Stark fiercely defends 2nd, and Rusty Wyatt completes an incredible charge from 10th into 3rd. Daniel Kamzi moves up to 4th after Brent Dillard is penalized for hitting a buoy. In the team's World Championship standings, Team Vietnam claims the top spot, while Sharjah's duo of Rusty Wyatt and Philip Roms secure 2nd. An excellent performance by China CTIC, who clinched the final podium spot in 3rd.
I seen you. I'm like, he's gonna pitch me for sure, but I'm not going. Shit, I gotta go.
Hunting Rusty behind you, you know, it's it was really tough race, but had 2 really good moments with Rusty. He overtook me once, I took it back, and then really good end of my season here, and really good end from my time in victory.
Really nice to come from 10th to 3rd and have a great battle with Eric and finish up 2nd in the championship. At the end of this year, being our 1st year, can't complain. Yeah, everywhere I look at Sharjah t-shirts, it's pretty special. Obviously, to do it here at the home track, it means that much more. So, putting on a show at the end of the day for the hometown crowd feels really good to me.
Jonas Anderson joins the elite ranks of three-time world champions. Rusty Wyatt takes second overall and Rookie of the Year, while Eric Stark secures third for Victory Team.
It's incredible. The boys have worked so hard and I've been working so hard. And I'm so proud to do this with this new team Vietnam. We win the World Championship the first year. And I'm so grateful to the sponsor from Vietnam and what we achieved this year.
The F1H2O flag was officially passed to the next hosts in Indonesia before Sharjah capped off the weekend with a lavish awards ceremony and gala dinner where drivers, teams and their families enjoyed the splendors of an Arabian feast in a night to remember. This concludes a spectacular UIM F1H2O World Championship. See you in 2025.